Šviesa ir lietus, šviesa ir lietus, šviesa ir lietus, sujungia mus. Šviesa ir lietus, šviesa ir lietus, šviesa ir lietus, sujungia mus.
Lithuania is found on the eastern shores of the Baltic Sea, in what is today classed as Northern Europe. It is surrounded by Latvia to the north, Belarus to the east and south, and finally Poland and Russia to the west. Lithuania's population is just under 3 million people. The three countries of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia are often referred to as the Baltic states, or simply the Baltics. All three countries are members of the European Union, NATO, and the Eurozone. To answer that question, we're going to need to take a few steps back. So, if it's one step from today to the founding of the United States of America in 1776, and one more step back to Christopher Columbus in 1492, when he arrived in the New World, then for a Lithuanian, taking the same 250 years per step back in time, they would need to take about 52 steps, all the way back to a time the archaeological record indicates started around the end of the last ice age, just after the glaciers melted away, about 13,000 years ago. Glad you asked. Although Lithuanian has distant ties to Slavic languages, like Russian, Polish, or Ukrainian, it is a Baltic language. The Baltic languages, comprised of Lithuanian, Latvian, and a now extinct Old Prussian, are found in their own branch. Surprisingly, Lithuanian has words in common with Sanskrit, an ancient Indian tongue. Lithuanian is also quite unique in that it has not jumped on the modernization bandwagon and has managed to maintain a lot of its original form. In linguistic circles, it's quite a belle, as it is studied to understand how European languages developed. It is considered the oldest living language in Europe. Lithuanian is written using Latin letters. There are a total of 32 letters in the Lithuanian alphabet. 9 letters are accented. And within these letters, there is one that is truly unique and Lithuanian, as it was created when the first book on Lithuanian grammar was published in 1653. It is pronounced A. Over 100 years ago, Lithuania had faded from the map of Europe and was on its way to becoming a footnote in history. At the end of the 19th century, Lithuanian lands were occupied by the German Empire and Tsarist Russia. The nobility of Lithuania mainly spoke Polish. As World War I drew to a close, deliberations started about where to draw borders in the aftermath of the war. Poland's borders were being debated. On this map, the green outline depicts new borders proposed by France. Lithuania's existence was not even up for consideration. Here's Lithuania superimposed on the map as it exists today. The President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson, was presented with this map, which depicts the distribution of Polish speakers to aid in determining where the boundaries of Poland should be drawn. For reference, here are Lithuania's borders today. So how did Lithuania reappear on the map of Europe? A group of 20 Lithuanians from various parts of Lithuanian society were delegated to form a committee called the Council of Lithuania, with the goal of resurrecting the Lithuanian state. On February 16, 1918, they signed a declaration informing their neighbors and occupiers that the Lithuanian state is being revived based on the principle of the right of a peoples to self-determination. And so here we are, 100 years later, celebrating the restoration of the modern Lithuanian state. Before we go, here are a few more quick facts. Lithuania has only had one king in its history, King Mindaugas. Lithuanians were proud pagans and were the last country in Europe to embrace Christianity. A few decades before Chris Columbus made his way over to the Americas, Lithuania had burst its britches and briefly became the largest country in Europe when it stretched from the Baltic Sea all the way down to the Black Sea. This was under the rule of the Grand Duke Vytautas. And as a final note, the Lithuanian language does not have a th sound, th. So native speakers can't pronounce the word Lithuania. Lithuania in Lithuanian is Lietuva. Now, we're all going to politely sneeze as we say thank you in Lithuanian. Ačiū.